I have the Jaguar E-type in the wash bay. This car makes me feel like an absolute giant. But as you can see, it is almost completely covered in Bondo. It is completely skim coated, and you can see where I ground off and everything. It's peeling off. And there was a lot of clear coat. I scraped some of the clear coat away because our chemical just hates clear coat. So we got under a lot of the clear coat, but I'm about to pressure wash it and we're gonna see how much of this comes off. The inside was already stripped and it looks like all the paint on the front pretty much just came off in the tank. So that's a good sign that that our chemical is gonna take the paint off. Just the clear coat was protecting a little bit. So let's pressure wash this and see where we're at after this. The 1967 Jaguar E-type is finally finished. We got this thing down to bare metal and it is looking mighty clean. There was a lot of work done on this thing. The guy, if I remember correctly, he said it was redone in the 90s. The whole thing was skim coated in Bondo. Some places were up to a ½ inch thick. I roughed it up a little bit with a sander before we put it in the alkaline just to speed things along so we could get under that clear coat in Bondo. It still ended up taking like 4 or 5 dips in the alkaline just to remove all the seam sealer, paint and Bondo, primer, everything. This thing had layers and layers of stuff. As for the rust, it wasn't too rusty. I think it took a total of 2 dips in the acid bath to remove all the rust. But let's have a closer look at this thing and we'll see what we're working with. So up front here, you can see a few repairs on the passenger side. There's this big patch here where it was welded and you can see some brazing there. You can see where they beat on it a little bit, try to straighten it out. Some lead in the seam, the A-pillar. This must have been replaced. You can see all the brazing there and all the crinkled up metal. Come in, look at the floor. You can also see some more brazing on the floor. I don't know if that's factory. Probably is. See some welds there. That's all chopped apart. More brazing on the floor. The floor is actually pretty solid. There is some pitting, as you can see. It also looks like they replaced some of these. There's some patches there and on the opposing side. See some work was done to the quarters, and this thing was completely covered in Bondo. Real thick lead there and some brazing. Put some holes in it. There was a lot of seam sealer there in Bondo. Quarters don't look too bad. Come to the trunk area. Trunk's pretty solid. A little bit of brazing, some pitting, but it's in pretty solid shape. The driver's side quarter's in really good shape, as you can see. But yeah, they definitely have their work cut out for them, but I'm excited to see this thing done. It was a nice change of pace, getting something different in the shop, like this Jaguar. I haven't dipped a lot of Jaguars before. I think the only other Jaguar I dipped was an XK120. I think it was like a 1950. I really wish I was making videos then because that car was so sweet. All right, that's enough of me rambling on. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to watch my videos. I appreciate all the comments and the positive feedback. I love reading your comments and I try to answer as many questions as I can, but I work multiple jobs, so I don't have a lot of time. I'm a pretty busy person. It does take me a little bit to get videos out sometimes. If you want to see sneak peeks of cars coming up or just like stuff in my personal life or whatever, I'm on all other social media platforms. I have an Instagram, I have TikTok. If you guys follow me there, it's still Minute of Dangle, but you'll see a little extra content and you won't have to wait for these long form videos all the time. Again, I appreciate every single one of you who tunes in and watches my videos, and I will see you at the next car.